Your operating system gets updated, your games get updates, and whether you like it or not, your graphics card needs you to make sure that the drivers are all up to date. So let's talk about why that's so important, and then I'll show you how to get those updates for your graphics cards. Whether you're on Team Red or Team Green, I've got you covered. Every operating system gets regular updates that improve their stability as well as improve overall performance. That update treatment doesn't stop at the operating system. Everything down the stack receives software updates, including your game launchers. And while we're at that level, your game gets regular updates as well. And it always seems to happen right when you have just enough time to get in a quick round of Call of Duty or Rocket League. Not only do all of these get regular software updates, but you also have new games coming out. A recent one that comes to mind is Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a great game, by the way, if you're a fan of adventure brawlers. With those updates and new games come the need to update your graphics card driver. Most of the time, these driver updates are designed to address stability issues, but occasionally you'll be treated to major driver updates that will boost performance in a lot of games or add new features to existing graphics cards. But if you're unsure of how to go about the whole process, then I'm about to walk you through it for both AMD Radeon and NVIDIA GeForce graphics card driver installation and update procedures. In the red corner, we have the AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT, and it's time to get this puppy upgraded. Assuming I've never updated graphics drivers before, let's head straight to AMD.com for the goods. Once you're there, you'll find the drivers and support tab at the top of the page. Go ahead and hit that. Now you'll see a couple of options. There's an auto detect option, but you're going to want to skip that one because you know what graphics card you're running and you want no fluff. Now, if you aren't sure about which card you have, then go ahead with the auto detect. But I do, so we're going to keep going this route. Okay, so the next section down is where you're wanting to be. There are a few options here, and since we're updating the drivers for the Radeon RX 6800 XT, we want to select Graphics and then the AMD Radeon 6000 series. That'll bring up the next options, where we'll select the AMD Radeon 6800 series. Now look, obviously you'll be selecting the options that match your graphics cards. The RX 6800 XT is just what we're using for this example. Once you've done this, go ahead and hit Submit. Okay, more options. Great. From here, you'll select the operating system. For me, I'm still using Windows 10 64-bit edition. More options. What do you go with? Optional? Recommended? Pro? Now this is going to be a personal choice here, but if you're just gaming, then skip the Pro option and go for one of the others. Recommended is the WHQL versions of the driver signed off by Windows, and it's the official driver, if you will. The optional driver is what used to be referred to as the beta driver. It's not certified, but typically has the latest bug fixes and game patches in it. For this example, we'll be playing it safe with the recommended. But note, if you're buying a hot new game on day one, you'll often need to snag AMD's optional driver for bleeding edge performance optimizations. Now, it's time to download. Once it's downloaded, simply run the installer to select its install path. Default is fine here, no need to reinvent the wheel. Past this point, AMD will give you several additional options unless you want to just forge ahead. By default, the driver package will install the full suite where you'll get all of the features from the Radeon software. A minimal install is where you'll get the driver plus basic features of Radeon software, while the driver only version is, well, you guessed it, the driver only and nothing else. We're going to go ahead with the full install. This process only takes a couple of minutes, more or less, depending on the overall speed of your computer. Once it's done, simply hit the restart button or just go ahead and restart anyway just to be on the safe side. And now you're done. Now that you have the Radeon software installed, all you need to do in order to update it again is head to the Radeon settings by right-clicking on the desktop and selecting it. Once you're in, head over to the settings tab via the cog on the right and bam! Just check for the updates and you're golden. Now, Radeon software will also alert you when new drivers are available to install, assuming you didn't go for the driver-only route. And that's it for AMD. Now in the green corner, we have the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080. Once again, assuming you've never updated drivers, getting this one going isn't much different off the start. We're going to start this one off by going to GeForce.com. You can go one of two paths here. You can install GeForce Experience and let it get the latest driver for you, or you can head down the drivers tab like we're going and get everything from there, and you can decide later if you want to sign in and use GeForce Experience. So, to the drivers tab we go. There is an option for automatic or manual. Now, manual is going to be my route, and if you aren't sure which graphics card you have, you might want to go the auto route. For manual, here are the series of drop-down menus, and thankfully, we're using a GeForce product, and we're on Windows 10, and we speak English, so no need to adjust those options. We aren't using an RTX 3000 series laptop, so we're going to need to change that. And since we're using an RTX 3080 desktop card, we're going to change the product series to GeForce RTX 30 series. Under the product, we're going to go to RTX 3080. If you're not using an RTX 3080, then you make sure you're choosing the series and model for what you have. The process is the exact same regardless. Once you've got it selected, hit the Start Search button and you'll be greeted by the results just below here. Scroll down and you'll see a list of WHQL drivers and their release dates. You'll see two types of drivers, however, the NVIDIA Game Ready driver or the NVIDIA Studio driver. The rule of thumb here is simple. Gamers want Game Ready and content creators likely want Studio. I do both, but for today, I'm more worried about gaming performance, so I'm going with the Game Ready and hitting the Get Download on the newest driver. That takes you to the drivers page where you can soak in the release highlights and supported GPUs. There's also a link down there to release notes in case you want to check out known issues. Okay, so let's get that puppy downloaded. Once downloaded, the install will begin and you'll select the install path. And I'm going to leave this one on default. But once it's unpacked, the first choice you'll have to make is whether you want the driver or the driver in GeForce Experience. I want the total package and don't mind logging into an account with GeForce Experience, so I'm going that route for this guide. If you don't want to log in or have issues with that, then feel free to go the driver only route. Then you have the options to go Express or Custom in the install. Express just goes right on through with the default options, but Custom will give you the option for a clean install. This can be useful if you've recently experienced issues during an install, as it can wipe out all the setting changes in the system and let the drivers go in as clean as possible. We're continuing on with Express for this guide. Now sit back and let the installer do its thing. Once it's done, so are you. Now, if you want to update again and didn't install GeForce Experience, then just rinse and repeat all these steps. But if you did install GeForce Experience, then updating your drivers from here is super easy. Just open GeForce Experience and click on the Drivers tab, and if you have the latest, it'll tell you, and if you don't, it'll give you the option right there to download and update. Similar to Radeon software, if you have GFE installed, it will provide a pop-up telling you when new drivers are available in the future, and you're done. Well, folks, at this point, you are now armed with the knowledge of not only why you and your friends need to update your drivers for your graphics card, but also how to go about doing so in the proper manner. I get it. Windows does a pretty good job of making sure that when you slap in a new graphics card, things just work. But I can assure you, it's not optimal. So you need to update them yourselves to stay on point. Maybe you know this already and just wanted to see if I messed up. And that's fair, but I can assure you that at some point you're going to have a friend new to the PC game. They're not going to know what to do and you're not going to want to feel like holding their hand. So let me. Feel free to shoot them this video. It's timestamped so you can send them right to the right section depending on whether they're using Radeon or GeForce. Either way, I hope you all got something out of today's video, and if you did, let me know by hitting the thumbs up button and making sure you're subscribed here at PCWorld for even more PC hardware and software goodness.